Hey, how's it going? Now, this is James P. White from 95.7 Cruise FM, The Locker Room. Welcome to the Jedi Jimmy podcast, episode number 46. Today, I'm actually dealing with Willow, episode number 6 and 7. Holy, yeah, whole lot of holy. What a great episode, 2 episodes. The first episode, episode 6, is The Prisoners of Skellen. So it starts out with Prince Eric at the city with the crone, trying to actually entice him to go to their side, kind of like dark side kind of thing. But then in the previous episode, in episode number 5, the trolls actually kidnapped Kit and Willow and took them into the mines of Skellen. They're put in cages that are kind of hanging, but then we meet someone who claims to be Mad Mardigan, who was in the original series played by Val Kilmer, who was also Kit's dad. But when we meet him, he's actually played by Christian Slater. His real name is Allagash, who actually fought with Mad Mardigan in the Battle of Land's End. We're going to learn a little bit more in a bit. But then we meet 2 intellectual trolls. One, he's called Lord Saris, and he's the administrator of the Mines of Skellen, as well as his brother, Falcon. Now, the trolls try to interrogate Kit, who they've to find out where Elora Danan is, because we find out that the trolls actually work for the crone who is trying to kill Elora Danan. Now, somehow Elora, she's starting to grasp a little bit more of her magic, and whenever she gets stressed and she has the wand in her hand, it causes weird things to happen. So she actually caused the lava-like chemical that they had in vats to bubble and cause minor earthquakes. Never a good sign when you have minor earthquakes. Now, Allagash said the group, including Mad Mardigan and Borman, was actually betrayed by Borman, and Mad Mardigan is still alive. But Allagash said that when they first met each other, he left the war to seek fortune and glory, but years later, Mad Mardigan came back to help him find the Chimerian cuirass. Now, the stuff that they're making in the mine, so these big vats of kind of a gold color chemical, is actually a potion that helps the crone control people. So not only if you ingest it, does it give you more strength and endurance and resistance to pain, but it gives you control. It gives the crone control of you. And so it was that chemical that actually possessed Graydon as well as Ballantyne in the first couple of episodes. Now, Scorpia joined them when trying to free Willow and Kit, but she realized that there was a lot of slaves in the mines, and her goal was actually to free everyone that was in there from slavery. And as we learn more and more throughout this episode, Elora, she's got in touch with her magic, but she has no control over it. And whenever she gets stressed, she causes the earth to shake. When she has the wand in her hand, actually the whole wand glows. And it causes issues. Now, the K when they found out that there is actually a spot in these mines, a secret passageway that leads them to Wiggleheim's tomb, where the Chimerian cuirass is actually supposed to be. This indestructible armor that not only gives the wearer strength, but invulnerability from almost anything. Now, Wiggleheim was actually a Nelwyn adventurer, but he went on so many adventures and he had like treasures and special artifacts. They needed to get into that tomb to find the Chimerian cuirass. Now, Borman said he actually rebutted what Allagash said when Allagash said that Borman betrayed Mad Mardigan so that he could have the cuirass to himself. But Borman said the exact opposite, that not only did Allagash betray the group, but because of his betrayal, 2 of their friends died. When they opened the secret door to Wiggleheim's tomb, the door is actually guarded by riddles. And they solved all the riddles. They're actually kind of cool. Watch the episode and find out. Kit actually found her father's sword, so Mad Mardigan's sword, and she heard the voice of Mad Mardigan. And what she was told is that Mad Mardigan actually died, so his family, meaning Kit, Eric, as well as Queen Sorsha, could protect Alora Dannon. And because of that, Kit had huge resentment towards Alora in this episode. Now, while Kit and Alora were arguing in this area that they were trying to escape, actually Kit fell through like the floor, but it was kind of like a crystallized ice, but a rock fell through it, and underneath was water. And actually Alora tried to free her from this water tomb with Shalindria's wand. Now we jump to Eric, and where he's in the Rune City. Now, in the Rune City, there's this fountain kind of thing with water that looks quite orange, but he was drinking it, and it didn't kill him, so it must have been okay. But he hears a woman yelling. He goes into this dungeon area, and he realizes there's this woman that has been captured. Now we're jumping to episode number 7. The title of this one is Beyond the Shattered Sea. Eric said that where they are, the sun never sets. Like, it's daylight all the time. The girl says that it will end because nothing lasts forever. She also said she's from Kashmir, and we find out later she could be the princess of Kashmir. Now, when Eric looked into the well that he was drinking from, he could actually see the image of Kit falling through the water. So he dives in to try and save his sister, but before Eric could get to her, Alora was able to get her out of the water using Shalindria's wand. Now the group, they actually reach the Shattered Sea, and the only way to get so they're told the only way you can get to the immemorial city is by walking across the Shattered Sea. But they find this little house with an old man. His name is Zeb. He identifies himself as actually a warrior from Kashmir, and him and some of his counterparts were sent to rescue the princess a number of years ago. But the men turned on each other, and he was the only one standing. Now we jump back to Eric. He woke up outside of the well on the edge of it, but it was totally covered by like a cement cover. Kind of weird. Now, when he goes back into the cave to look for the girl, she's staring through a gap in the wall that looked very similar to the portal that Kit heard her father yelling from. But when he comes back out of the cave, the water is there again. So the cover is gone, and the well that he was looking in was full of water. Now we find out that the princess, she knows why they are there. She also knows the history of the Order of the Worm, and she identifies herself as the Princess of Kashmir. Now, the group is actually chased by the rest of the Crone soldiers, but when they are escaping on a coach that was pulled by a mudmander, kind of a cool serpent thing that's in the Shattered Sea, Graydon actually uses his flute and shoots this flying bird-like creature, and it explodes. And we find out that Graydon is actually a magic user, but he didn't actually know he was. Now we jump to a scene where there's a lot of training going on. Willow is actually teaching Alora Dannon how to battle using magic, and Kit and Jade are actually practicing their combat skills using their swords. Now, Willow had a vision of what happened to his village. It looks like the worm actually attacked the village when he was out on a mission or on a quest. And his wife, Kaya, died during the mission, but what really happened is not only did he lose his wife, but his daughter, she was scared, and his son actually left the village, disappointed with what Willow had done leaving the village. Now, the one thing that we learned, we jump back to where Eric is, and the princess that he's hanging out with, she actually was working with the Crone. And she was really enticing him to come to the dark side, to come to work with the Crone. Now, the group gets, once they realize that they had to walk, not take the mudmander across the Shattered Sea, they come to a waterfall, and Alora and Kit realize that they can't find the city unless they do it together. They fell off, like they threw themselves off the waterfall, and they ended up finding the city. Now, when they actually get to where Eric was, he comes out of the cave that he was in armor and a sword, because he has now been taken over by the Crone. So I have a feeling that the girls eventually are going to have to fight Eric in order to defeat the Crone. Now, one thing that about this series is there's I feel a lot of similarities between me and Willow, with the fact that he's a little person and so am I, see, the old man calls Willow a peck, which is basically a fictitious word of reference to the word midget. And they use it throughout the series, but every time I hear the word peck, personally, I get triggered. I'm okay with the word midget. I use it all the time, but there's just something about when someone is making fun of another little person that kind of triggers me. A personal thing, I guess. Now, just so you know, there's only one episode left of the Willow series. I'm going to be dealing with that next week. Now, with the fact, if you are actually just listening to this podcast, you can actually find a video version of it on the Locker Room YouTube page, which is at the Locker Room 957 on YouTube. And there's some video content like pictures and stuff like that you can find there. And I do need to thank all my sponsors. First of all, the Dean Blundell Network on deanblundell.com. And, of course, my buddy Army Chris with Fire for Effect Productions. He has not only helped me build a podcast when I'm here, but he has taught me how to do it myself and helped me improve my podcast skills. I need to thank him. Thank you, Army Chris. I look forward to seeing you next week for the last Willow show. What can go wrong? See you then.